So one of my most memorable times in the field was actually one Saturday when I went to go work out. And I had my cameras with me because I wanted to go collect data. And it ended up being one of my friend's birthdays. So I kind of kept the camera in the bag and just kind of worked out. And we ended up going to brunch after to celebrate her birthday. And I was kind of at this table surrounded by about 15 girls. And it was at that point that I realized, like, I really committed to this project and I somehow became one of the girls. My name is David Vieyra, and the title of my project is Lift Like a Girl, Challenging Hegemony Through Fitness. So I studied behavioral patterns between men and women inside of CrossFit gyms, paying specific attention to the female participants and sort of analyzing how CrossFit is giving women the tools and space to break away from traditional hegemonic gender stereotypes. Well, I heard about the Lemelson program when I first came to UCLA, and I was sort of in a weird situation where I didn't know what I wanted my project to be. So I went to go talk to the TA, and the advice that she gave me was pick something that you're really going to be interested in, something that you're going to be okay with working on for 2 years. So I took that with me and I went home, and it was right after the CrossFit Games of 2015, and they have a lot of highlight reels online. So I was watching the women's competition, and my roommate at the time actually leans over my shoulder. He says, like, hey, that's pretty interesting that you're watching the women's side of the sport. He's like, you don't really see that. And that's when it sort of hit me, and I kind of took a step back and I started looking at where CrossFit stood in the relation to other realms of fitness and sports. And the analogy that I love using is in a variety of different sports, you always have this dichotomy where you have the men on one side and the women on the other. So take the NBA, for example. You have the NBA and the WNBA. You have the World Cup and the Women's World Cup. But in CrossFit, you just have CrossFit, and that just like opened the doors, and I just started peeling back every single layer to really find something that I was passionate about. It helped in giving me like a number of different perspectives. On one side, I was able to act as a participant. So I was able to connect with everybody in the field and like really get to know my participants on a personal level. And that was great for the ethnography side of things. And on the linguistic side of things, I kind of got to take a step back and analyze everything just as a researcher. I kind of get the experience of both. You're working with people, and their lives are consistently moving, and there's so many moving parts. So before I went into the field, I had this huge plan, literally day by day, where I was going to be, how many interviews I should have had, when I was going to pull out cameras, when I was going to be at what gym, at what time, and that completely fell apart within the first week. And it was sort of learning how to adapt, and don't worry so much. There's going to be times that you doubt yourself, and even in the field, you're going to stop and question yourself more than you probably should. The cohort previous to us also had that, and even with talking to my mentor, the same exact thing. It's a really common thing, and it might seem like everything's falling apart, but it's going to be all right.